Good afternoon and welcome to TVM News. Today is Friday, November 10th. I'm Brooke Williams.
And I'm Hannah Weaver. This week we'll bring you the latest on the Sutherland Springs, Texas shooting that left 26 dead. We'll also look into the local election results from Tuesday.
The Core Curriculum Revision Task Force is proposing to revamp the core curriculum. After getting community feedback, the task force unveiled its revised model in an open forum last month. The model includes threads where students take courses centered around a theme or question and complete a core capstone that pulls everything together. Students would also take linked foundational courses and courses tagged with skills like writing. Core Curriculum Committee Co-Chair Dr. Helen Biddle says the goal is to bring the various disciplines of the core curriculum together.
The business program at Marywood-University is undergoing a reaccreditation process. The business program was originally recognized by the Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs in 1999. The school's last accreditation was in 2009. A member of the Accreditation Council will be visiting Marywood School of Business in 2019.
The Career Services Department is changing its location and personnel. Earlier this semester, the department moved to the Learning Commons to have a more central campus location. The Director of Career Services position was eliminated under the Strategic Resource Allocation Report, and a new full-time position was added in its place. Former Assistant Director of Advising Christina Brundage stepped into the new position of Career Engagement Specialist on Monday. Brundage said Career Services will also be revamped by using new technology and social media.
Marywood's new amphitheater is almost complete. TVM's Ann Zukowski has more.
Marywood-University now has a new outdoor space for concerts and activities in place of the former library.
Located behind me is the new amphitheater on campus, soon to be open and ready for the Marywood community.
The Learning Resource Center demolition started last summer with plans for the new Michael and Gwen Galabro Delfino Amphitheater to be built in the former library's location.
So I think that we'd have bands or we'd have speakers kind of sit on that patio outside the Learning Commons, and the Bluestone seats, they're kind of like they're bleachered, so they're stepped back. They would face the patio. Purpose is you can have some seats on Bluestone, but then you can bring your own lawn chairs or blankets and kind of sit around the area.
Student Natalia Calacerdo explained her expectations for the amphitheater.
I just felt there was room for more opportunity. Like an amphitheater is an outdoor theater, and it's just kind of 3 big steps. I was thinking more of a big grand theater. You could have had concerts come to the actual school and just more fun outdoor activities, not just a big grass field that just kind of continues.
Other students like Sarah Liang are seeing the opportunity for the new outdoor space.
I think that if we advertise to clubs and organizations that that's a space that they can use, I definitely think that it would be a good place, especially once the weather starts warming up, for students to kind of get outside and do some stuff together.
I think it's a great way to bring Marywood together as a university, giving someone or a place to go and gather with your friends.
It's a great community builder. We'll bring people from the outside community onto campus. It's also a great internal community builder because you guys can use it to either play games or just hang out or meet there and enjoy the summer months. So I think it's a great contribution to campus.
These fences will be taken down once the grass is done growing. For TVM News, I'm Ann Zukowski.
Students are showing unity with women who wear hijabs. Better Together members Salma Ahmed and Mike Carone are planning Wear a Hijab Day next Wednesday, where members of the Marywood community are encouraged to wear hijabs and learn about their importance in Islam. There will be a meeting November 13th in the Swartz Center at 5 p.m. for anyone interested in participating, and an informational table in the Learning Commons on the day of the event. The Student Activities crew will supply scarves for those who do not have them. Everyone is invited to participate, whether they practice Islam or not.
Marywood students are crafting up new ways to show appreciation for veterans. The Office of Military and Veterans Services is collecting thank you emails that will be printed on cards and given to veterans after the Veterans Day program. The cards will go to the Gino Merli Center to ensure that all veterans receive a thank you, especially those who do not have close family.
Campus Ministry is holding their annual Thanksgiving Adopt a Family Drive. They accepted monetary donations from students, clubs, faculty, and others until last Tuesday. People who sponsor a family will shop for grocery items from a list provided by Campus Ministry. They will also prepare a basket and deliver it next Saturday. Volunteers will deliver baskets to local families in need so they can make their own Thanksgiving dinners. The names of the families come from United Neighborhood Centers of Northeastern Pennsylvania. This nonprofit agency helps low-income families.
The Marywood Student Activities crew is celebrating the success of their Canvas and Mocktails event on Wednesday. TVM's Manny Duran was in on the action.
Students find relaxation during a creative night on campus. The Student Activities crew hosted a mocktail and painting night in the Nazareth Student Center. Students participated in 3 sessions throughout the night to create different paintings. Prior to each session, the Student Activities crew served gourmet cupcakes and drinks for the students to enjoy during the painting session. Senior art education major Gabrielle Mitchell led students through different painting techniques in each session. Mitchell also shared the important aspects to remember when teaching a group how to paint.
The most important thing is patience, because a lot of people were like not there all the way and people are moving ahead. So learn how to balance between the two, the fast learners and the slow learners, things like that. And just like making sure everyone has fun while they're painting.
Organizers of the event used Facebook Live to stream Mitchell's painting lesson onto the projector screen to help students get a better idea of how each painting is created. Student Activities crew event coordinator Madison Harm shared more on implementing Facebook Live during their events.
I want to start live streaming a little bit more of our events so that people can see it after. We just live streamed that one and we already have like over 130 views, which is like kind of a lot. So we want to see how it goes and just test it out.
At the end of the session, students walked away with paintings to decorate their dorms.
I think they really came out good because some people were like, I never painted before, and like I couldn't tell at all. So I had a good time watching them paint, and I feel like they had a good time like being taught how to paint.
For TVM-News, I'm Manfred Duran.
Up next, we have full coverage of the local election results from Tuesday. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TVM News. Lackawanna County has some new politicians in office after the 2017 off-year election. Democratic nominee Mark Powell won the race for Lackawanna County District Attorney. Powell is the first Democrat to hold the position in 50 years. Democrat William Courtwright defeated Republican nominee Jim Mulligan and will now serve another term as mayor of Scranton. Republican Sally Mundy kept her seat for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, defeating former Pittsburgh Steeler and Allegheny County Judge Dwayne Woodruff. Democrats Maria McLaughlin, Debbie Kunzelman, and Carolyn Nichols won seats on the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. As for the Scranton School Board, Katie Gilmartin, Mark McAndrew, and Barbara Dixon and Robert Casey will serve as board members.
3 men in Columbia County are facing charges of disturbing wildlife after abusing a wild possum. One of the men is a student at Bloomsburg-University. Other students who witnessed the abuse reportedly saw the men chasing the possum around with a bat. When the men captured the animal, they took pictures of themselves kissing and feeding it beer. The men also threw the possum into the trash. It is unknown whether the animal is still alive. The Pennsylvania Game Commission says that the 3 men will be fined up to $1,500 and could face up to 3 months in jail.
The Scranton School District is finalizing a list of possible cuts after a recent audit revealed financial instability and mismanagement. The school board must pass a balanced 2018 budget in 2 months. Directors discussed a preliminary list of cuts to programs and jobs that could save at least $12 million. The district will also save money through a renegotiation of its bus contract. Even if the district manages to save money in the 2018 budget, the general fund deficit could still reach $40 million by the end of the year.
A Carbon County mother says she is furious after her 7-year-old daughter was kicked off of her school bus at the wrong stop on Wednesday. Brandy Fye got special permission for her 3 children to take a different bus to their grandmother's house while she was at a parent-teacher conference. 2 of the 3 children got on the right bus, but Fye's 7-year-old daughter got on her normal bus. When the bus approached her stop 1 block away from her home, the school bus attendant forced her to get off the bus. Fye's daughter was seen walking home alone, where her parents later found her sitting in the backyard. District bus company Kistler Transportation did not comment on the school bus attendant's actions, but Fye says the company told her the bus attendant was fired.
A Scranton-based doctor is being charged with 20 felony counts related to overprescribing narcotics to patients. Investigators found that Dr. Louis Adamo of Moscow prescribed oxycodone tablets to 2 patients. One of the patients refilled their prescription at 6 different pharmacies. A police affidavit also alleged Adamo continued to prescribe pain pills for another patient after that person was treated for alcohol addiction at Marworth and Waverly. Adamo was arraigned and released on bail.
Over 100 Pennsylvania doctors have been approved to certify patients for medical marijuana. The list of approved doctors is public and includes a doctor of internal medicine in Wilkes-Barre, Dr. Richard Blum. Blum said his phone has been ringing since word got out. He stated that he is more interested in helping patients in need than the existing demand for marijuana. Medical marijuana use is rapidly increasing in Pennsylvania, and Standard Farms LLC in Whitehaven has been approved to grow and process marijuana for patients starting next year.
A Lycoming college professor is receiving recognition for digging up a fossil in central Pennsylvania. Professor David Broussard said he was on a dig with a student when he found the femur bone of an animal believed to have lived 365 million years ago. Broussard said the animal had 4 legs and lived in water and on land. The Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia now houses the original fossil, among others from around the world. Broussard kept a cast of the fossil.
Hundreds of people are grateful for the harvest dinner Heights Elementary School hosted this past Thursday. The Wilkes-Barre Elementary School sponsored a free event for those in need. 300 people took home free turkey dinners. Local agencies also provided information on their services to Luzerne County residents.
We'll be right back with an update on the Sutherland Springs, Texas shooting, but first, here is your 7-day forecast.
Welcome back to TVM-News. Tragedy struck Sutherland Springs, Texas, when gunman Devin Kelly fired shots at the First Baptist Church, killing 26. Kelly entered the church while services were happening and fired shots. Authorities later found Kelly dead inside his car with a gunshot wound to the head that is believed to be self-inflicted. President Trump responded to the incident while in Asia.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and families of today's horrible and murderous attack. This act of evil occurred as the victims and their families were in their place of sacred worship. We cannot put into words the pain and grief we all feel, and we cannot begin to imagine the suffering of those who lost the ones they so dearly loved.
Over 100 people gathered at the First Baptist Church on the night of the shooting for a prayer vigil for those killed and wounded.
A suspect has been charged in the attack that killed 8 in Manhattan. 29-year-old Sayfullo Saipov, an Uzbekistan native, is being charged with providing support to ISIS, violence, and destruction of motor vehicles. Saipov allegedly drove a rental truck into a bike path, killing 8 and injuring over a dozen, and then crashed into a school bus. Investigators say he followed a playbook laid out by ISIS in initiating the attack. New York transportation authorities have also begun installing concrete barriers and bike paths to prevent future attacks.
The House of Representatives has released its tax reform bill. The complex bill has already started fierce debate over who will benefit the most and what popular tax deductions will be eliminated. Despite all the changes, popular 401k retirement plan limits will be left alone. Lobbyists for multiple interest groups are already making a case for their clients' deductions to remain in force. The bill's passage is far from assured.
A departing Twitter employee deactivated President Trump's Twitter account last Thursday. The account was only down for about 11 minutes, and the company initially called it an accident. After admitting the account was taken down by an employee leaving the company, Twitter said it will conduct a full internal review. Trump tweeted in response, "My Twitter account was taken down for 11 minutes by a rogue employee. I guess the word must finally be getting out and having an impact." This incident started a conversation about who has access to the president's Twitter account. The company said more safeguards are now in place to prevent similar situations.
Bo Bergdahl won't go to prison after pleading guilty to charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. Bergdahl left his outpost in Afghanistan in 2009 and was held captive by the Taliban for 5 years. He was released in 2014 in exchange for 5 Guantanamo Bay prisoners. Instead of prison, Bergdahl's rank is reduced from sergeant to private, and he will pay a monthly $1,000 fine for the next 10 months. He has also been dishonorably discharged. Bergdahl's attorney, Eugene Fidel, plans to appeal the dishonorable discharge. Fidel spoke out against President Trump's treatment of Bergdahl.
President Trump, when he was a candidate, of course, made really extraordinary and reprehensible comments targeted directly at our client. It's one of the most preposterous sets of the states of affairs that I can think of in American legal history.
The American economy is improving as the country added 261,000 jobs in the month of October. President Trump commented on the low unemployment rate.
Unemployment back in the United States is at a 17-year low. Almost 2 million jobs have been added since a very, very special day. It's called Election Day, November 8th. 2 million jobs.
However, this increase in employment did not address the question of when job growth will result in wage gains for workers. Average hourly earnings are 2.4% higher than last year, but still struggling to keep up with inflation. Recent hurricanes in Texas and Florida kept thousands of workers from their jobs since September, especially in the leisure market, which depends on good weather. The Labor Department revised its estimate of September payrolls, showing that the hurricane's predicted damage to the job market was not as bad as expected.
North Korea is creating a more advanced version of its intercontinental ballistic missile that could possibly reach the U.S. This new missile is part of Kim Jong-un's attempts to quickly improve the regime's nuclear weapon capabilities. North Korea's advances are forcing the United States to reassess the timing of a possible attack. The U.S. military is also under pressure to update its defense protocol. All of these developments are taking place as President Donald Trump is in Asia, where North Korea's weaponry is a primary topic. Before departing, Trump explained his main talking points for the trip.
We're about to begin a long trip. I know some of you are coming with us. We look forward to it. We're actually staying an extra day in the Philippines. We have a big conference, a second conference, and I think we're going to have great success. We'll be talking about trade. We'll be talking about, obviously, North Korea. We'll be enlisting the help of a lot of people and countries. We'll see what happens, but I think we're going to have a very successful trip. There's a lot of goodwill.
The Pentagon is expected to finish both a nuclear posture review and a ballistic missile defense review. This will allow billions of dollars to be spent on modernizing the U.S. weapons to counter the North Korean threat.
In other news, actor Kevin Spacey is facing repercussions after accusations of sexual harassment and assault came to light. Actor Anthony Rapp was the first to speak out, alleging Spacey made sexual advances toward him when he was 14. Others have since come forward, including people who worked with Spacey on the Netflix show House of Cards. One former House of Cards employee accused Spacey of sexual assault, while others detailed how Spacey created a toxic work environment through sexual harassment. Netflix shut down production of the new season of House of Cards and later fired Spacey amid the accusations.
The State Department is revoking passports of convicted child sex offenders. Under a new law, offenders must apply for new passports that will identify their past crimes. The International Megan's Law was passed last year in an attempt to end child exploitation. It requires the State Department to mark offenders' passports with a, quote, unique identifier. Marking these passports will also strengthen the ability of the Justice Department to track their international travels.
The hole in the Earth's ozone layer is shrinking. The ozone layer protects the planet from UV radiation. NASA scientists say the hole is at its smallest since 1988. They said warmer temperatures in the stratosphere contributed to the shrinkage, keeping away chemicals that eat away at the ozone layer. Even though the hole was 7.6 million square miles wide this year, it was still 1.3 million square miles smaller than last year. The change comes right after the 30th anniversary of the ozone layer's discovery.
Two women who allegedly spent months at sea, thousands of miles from their destination, are being accused of fabricating the story. Jennifer Appel and Tasha Fuiava were rescued by a Navy ship about 900 miles from Japan. The women claimed that their engine had failed about 5 months before they were rescued, as they traveled from Hawaii to Tahiti. Their story is now being questioned after the Coast Guard said the women had an emergency beacon they never activated. The women said they believed they would have died within 24 hours of their rescue, yet claimed their situation never seemed dire enough to turn on the beacon. The pair also claimed a large storm blew them off course, but records show no evidence of a storm during that time.
Up next, we'll check in with TVM sports anchor John Ferraro for the latest happening in sports. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TVM News. Did the Marywood women's soccer team win a second straight conference title? Let's toss to TVM sports anchor John Ferraro for the latest. John?
Thanks, Brooke. The women's soccer team failed to win a second straight conference title with a stunning loss to Cabrini. TVM's Bethany Wade has more.
The Marywood Pacers women's soccer team hosted Cabrini-University in the Colonial States Athletic Conference title game. The Pacers looked to repeat as CSAC champions while Cabrini looked to win its 7th title in 9 years. Marywood struck first when junior forward Megan Swakicki found the back of the net off a feed from sophomore midfielder Renee Moken. Cabrini's Kelsey Tironi tied up the game in the 25th minute off of a direct kick from outside the 18-yard box. Cabrini went up 2-1 in the 64th minute off another goal. The Pacers tried to battle back and nearly tied the game with 7 minutes remaining. Junior forward Ashley Krasinski scored, but the goal was called back due to an offsides penalty. The MVP award went to Cabrini goalkeeper Gabby Legentry. Cabrini won its 10th title in program history and earned an automatic bid to the NCAA Division III tournament. Marywood qualified for the Eastern College Athletic Conference Division III playoffs, where the Pacers will challenge City College of New York. For TVM News, I'm Bethany Wade.
Head cross-country coach Ethan Senecal wins CSAC Coach of the Year honors. Senecal coached the women's team to its 3rd consecutive CSAC championship, while leading the men's team to its first ever conference title. Senecal said he's honored to be chosen by his fellow conference coaches. He also thanked assistant coach Kevin Borelli and his volunteer coaches. Senecal is the 3rd Marywood men's coach to earn Coach of the Year honors and the 5th to earn Women's Coach of the Year honors. Marywood swimmers and divers still have some bright spots to show after a tri-meet loss. Freshman Nick Dubinsky set a new school record in the 100 breast with a time of 1 minute, 1 second, breaking the record previously held by Chris Brown. Junior Mia Nardone finished first in the 200 fly, and senior diver Courtney Snyder took second in the 1 meter and third in the 3 meter. Both the men's and women's team look to bounce back Sunday against Cabrini-University and the University of Scranton in another tri-meet. The Pacers softball team ranks in the top 10 in the country in GPA. The National Fast Pitch Coaches Association says the team had the 7th highest grade point average of all NCAA Division III schools for the 2016-2017 academic year. Assistant softball coach Nicole Malloy says her team worked hard for this honor, and she's happy her players got the recognition they deserve. 14 Marywood players also earned the Coaches Association All-America Scholar Athlete honors. 2-time Cy Young Award winner Roy Halladay died when his plane crashed in the Gulf of Mexico on Tuesday. The Pasco County, Florida's Sheriff's Office says Halladay was the lone occupant. Halladay won 203 games in a 16-year Major League Baseball career. He was just 40 years old. Halladay is survived by his wife and 2 children. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals denied the emergency injunction request by the Players Association on behalf of NFL Dallas Cowboy running back Ezekiel Elliott. This means that Elliott will serve his 6-game suspension this season for domestic violence. ESPN is changing the way its employees use social media. Network sports journalists cannot break news on social media, but they may distribute breaking news once they're reported on an ESPN platform. The company is also cracking down on political comments, as a sports journalist must now communicate with the producer and editor before posting about political or social issues to ensure fairness. This is likely in response to recent controversy involving Jamel Hill and President Trump. Papa John's is looking at its business relationship with the National Football League. The Wall Street Journal says 2 top company executives are in weekly talks with the NFL about the returns on their investment dollars. The company is concerned about the recent ratings decline, saying national anthem protests are partly to blame. Papa John's CEO John Shatner thinks the league is mishandling the protests, saying the issue, quote, should have been nipped in the bud a year and a half ago. After the company lowered its earnings forecasts, its stock took nearly a 10% hit. That's all for sports this week. Back to the desk.
Thanks, John. A Florida woman is taking thrifty shopping to a new level. Police charged Cheyenne Amber West with shoplifting and felony grand theft after she switched the barcodes on electronics with clearance stickers in Walmart. West tried to pay $3.70 for items that cost almost $2,000 at the self-checkout, but was stopped by a Walmart loss prevention officer. She has been released from jail after posting bail.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of TVM News. From all of us here at TV Marywood, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow TV Marywood's YouTube page and like the TVM Facebook page to stay up to date on the latest happenings and watch additional content. For TVM News, I'm Brooke Williams.
And I'm Hannah Weaver. See you next week.